Hi, everyone. Let's talk about the simulations. What we've got here is it's actually a pretty accurate simulation of what happens in the real world. And by that, what I mean is that there isn't necessarily a correct answer. And the way that this simulation is set up, each person uh, has different data that is behind your simulation. So if two of you sitting side by side, you may get different answers as being, different results for taking the same approach. And so what we have to do is not look for what is the answer, but what is it that we're actually trying to do here. And the important part of this is to learn about uh, it's a trial and error sort of approach. And that's the way it works in the real world. When you go out and do an A B test to try and get the best click through rate, you don't know what effect is going to happen from the things that you're doing. So what you do, and that's what an A/B test is. You have two different situations that you load up, you run them out there, and it sends the different results to different people coming to your site. And that's where you start getting the data to see, oh, if I have a large image of the product, I get better results than if I have a smaller one. And so, what it's training you to do is to test one variable at a time. And that's important. Only change one variable at a time when you're doing this. What it allows you to do is go out and test those different variables. And then looking at the data that comes back from that, you then make an informed decision about what else to try. Now you've got multiple rounds to do these, to try these different things to get to the best result. At this point, it's 20 rounds, up to 20 rounds that you can have to do this. And so what you're doing is going in and testing one factor at a time. So that is the way that this is. And then what you do is with that data, you have to work towards insight or use the data to inform your decisions about how you're going to accomplish the things in each round. One of the important tips also is to know at the beginning of the round what it is that you're measuring. What are the metrics that you're looking at to try and accomplish the goal? So focus on that because each round has a different goal that you're going to be looking at the data for. So what I've done is I have added a document here, guide to rounds. And when you go into that, what it's going to do is it's going to give you round overviews, success tips, and basic scoring. It's not going to give you the answer. And one of the things that you'll see in here is that it's going to tell you that um, the ideal selections for each aspect are randomized for every student. So you're not going to get the same results as the person. If you're sitting down next to somebody doing this, you're not going to get the same results. So you need to focus not on the clicks so much as what is the process of testing this variable against this variable, a different version of the same variable, seeing what that does to the data and deciding what the best option is. And then because you're looking at a number of variables in each round, you're looking at a different number of variables. Um, it will tell you that what are the kind of things that you need to be looking at in each round. So as you're going through, get into the habit of looking at the data and interpreting that data so that you can get insights so that you can then use that data as actionable data to decide what you want to have as your final output for that particular round. And in this document, it's got it for all of the rounds, and it gives you details about what's going on, scoring, etc. And it does that through all 10 rounds. So that is going to be a resource that you can turn to for each of the rounds as you're doing this, and it will help you to get on the right path for where you're trying to go. So another thing that I've got the ability to do is I've got the ability to roll back rounds in the simulation. So if you get a round where you just have a terrible score or you want to improve it, I'm more than willing to roll those back because each time you do this, you're going to better understand the process. So you're going to be learning about that process of A/B testing, whatever the particular variable that you're looking at. But I can only roll back one round at a time. And by that, what I mean is, for instance, say you get to round 6 and you decide, oh, I'd like to redo round 4. You can't just redo round 4 because what it does is it moves the data from each round and it uses that as the base data for the next round. So if you want to keep your score for round 6 and round 5, you can't redo round 4. If you want to redo round 4, then you've got to redo round 4, round 5, and then do round 6. So I can only roll back one round at a time. And any round that I roll past, you're going to have to redo. As long as you understand that, I'm happy to roll back as many rounds as you need to accomplish the learning that you feel will have you best prepared for knowing what we're learning through this simulation. Another thing is troubleshooting. And I had a student contact me about this last night, and that's part of the reason I'm doing this. If you're having weird problems, like one of the things that has showed up in the past and then has suddenly shown up again is when you submit a simulation, you get one of the spinning simulating icons. That tends to happen in Chrome when it happens. It doesn't always happen, but when weird things like that happen, it's normally in Chrome. And what we found is that you can, if that happens to you, you can click the refresh button to reload that page, and it will usually complete submitting that and give you the data that came as a result of it. If you have that problem in a browser, I would recommend you use a different browser. We've had real good success using Edge. We've had most of the problems that we've seen with this were in Chrome. So that is common enough that I would recommend that you don't use Chrome when you're doing these. So that's sort of what I wanted to talk to you about today, is that the reason this can be so frustrating is because it's so close to reality in the way that things happen. When you're doing an A/B test, you have no idea going in. Well, you have a presumption, you've got informed information about what may or may not help, but what you're doing is you're doing an A/B test to get data so that you can do informed decisions. And in the real world, you can do an A/B test today and then do it an hour later, and it may have different results because there will be different people coming onto the site. Now, don't let that bog you down, but that is the way it is in the real world. Is the results I get today are different than the results I'll get tomorrow. But what we do is we use that data not to get an exact answer, but to create an informed decision so that we can use that data as actionable data to make decisions about how to optimize the things that we're trying to do. And with that, I'm going to cut this off, and best of luck with this. Contact me on Teams if you ever want to have something rolled back. Tell me exactly which rounds you want to have rolled back, and I will roll them back for you and let you know when I've done that. That's all I've got for now. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.